Hi boys and girls, and welcome to lesson 2 of our topic on oceans. Now today we're using a PowerPoint from Digital Schools, which is North Lanarkshire's team that are making lots of resources for us to use while the schools are closed. So it's excellent that they've made this and we can use it. And today we're going to be looking specifically at the 5 oceans. So we're learning to identify the 5 oceans of the world. To be successful, we can name and label the 5 oceans of the world on a map. We can rank each ocean, which means to put them in order from smallest to largest. We can research which creatures live in each ocean, and we can display our findings in a series of mind maps. Ooh. So, water, water all around. Did you know that planet Earth is sometimes called the blue planet? That is because more than 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. Isn't that amazing, boys and girls? Did you even realise how much water there is on planet Earth? It's humongous. So showing us this is all water and this is land. So the oceans of the world, our planet has 5 main oceans: the Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and Pacific Ocean. So there are 5 main oceans. So what exactly is an ocean? We'll need to really know what an ocean is before we can identify them. So an ocean is a large body of salt water that is found between continents. And oceans are formed by smaller seas which join together. And although the oceans are separate, they join together to make one large body of water. So that's why sometimes we hear people talk about the ocean as one whole world ocean or the separate oceans. And that's summed up here where it says, together they can be seen as one world ocean because they have no real borders, and water flows freely between them. So, starting off with the Arctic Ocean. So, whereabouts is it? Well, it's in the northern part of the Earth near the North Pole. And it's shown us that here in the picture. Actually, we can see the North Pole in the middle and the Arctic Ocean that is around it. It is the smallest of all of the 5 oceans, and it is the shallowest of all of the 5 oceans. In terms of temperature, they're very low in the Arctic, and the ocean's surface will actually be covered in ice from June to October. Icebergs and ice packs are found here all year round, and these ice packs melt in the spring and summer and then refreeze in the colder autumn and winter months. So that wee extension task there, and these will be popped into the assignments, is can you find out the names of some seals and whale species? Okay, so that's a little wee question for you if you want to do a wee bit of research. And in terms of the sea life, well, there's polar bears that live in the Arctic Ocean, one of the most charismatic species that we know of that stays there. There's also the walrus as well. We've got 6 different species of seal and 4 species of whale that live there as well in this habitat. Okay, and here's some pictures of the Arctic Ocean. As you can probably tell, it is cold, it is freezing here. There is ice there. Okay, so it is a very cold habitat. Now, in contrast to that, we have the Indian Ocean. Now, the Indian Ocean lies south of Asia and India and separates East Africa from Australia. This ocean is the 3rd largest in the world, and the average depth is 13,002 feet deep. Whoa, that is incredibly deep, isn't it? And this one is the warmest ocean in the world. And again, that's in contrast to the Arctic, which is the coldest ocean in the world. So in terms of sea life, it's very, very different. You won't find any polar bears here. There's tropical fish, bony fish, sharks as well. We didn't have any of them in the Arctic. Whales again, and coral, a very important keystone species. The Indian Ocean is also home to many endangered sea animals such as turtles, seals and dungyongs, which are called sea cows. And boys and girls, dungyongs are amazing creatures. They literally eat plants at the bottom of the seafloor just like cows, so they're known as sea cows as well. And here's a little wee task for you to do as a wee extension if you want to do some research. You can find the definition of the word endangered. I bet some of you already know that. So here's some pictures. Again, very warm. You can see that there's a lovely warm sandy beaches. You can almost see the coral underneath here peeking through. In the middle, you can see some lovely tropical, bright, colourful fish. And again, you can see the coral habitat down below. And here in the last picture, you can just tell how warm and sunny this ocean is. So again, very, very different to the Arctic Ocean. So going on to the third ocean, the Southern Ocean. Whereabouts is it? Well, it's located in the southern hemisphere and it surrounds Antarctica. It's the fourth largest or second smallest of the oceans. The average depth here is about 3,200 metres, so nowhere near as deep as the Indian Ocean. And the sea temperatures range from -2 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius. Icebergs can be found here all year round. From May to October, there are strong winds which make crossing this ocean very, very dangerous. And big iceberg fragments, or chunks as they can also be called, drift in the water. Here again we've got different sea life that lives here because the sea life, boys and girls, is adapting to the habitat and the conditions there. So we've got penguins here, as you can see in the picture, fur seals, blue whales, which you can see here, one of my favourite animals of all time, elephant seals and giant squids, which are also a really fascinating creature as well. So you can see here a little bit more about the location. And for your extension task, if you fancy it, you can find out all 8 species of penguins that live in the Southern Ocean. So here's some pictures. Again, it's a very cold place. Sorry, you can see the ice forming here. You can see the penguins on the ice. And you can see, I think this is another penguin as well, just returning from a hunt for fish and coming back up to the surface. Okay, moving on now to the Atlantic Ocean. So whereabouts is it? Well, it's between the continents of America and Europe and Africa. The equator, which is really the midline of planet Earth, divides the Atlantic Ocean into the North Atlantic Ocean and the South Atlantic Ocean. So you can see the equator running along here, and here's the North Atlantic Ocean and the South Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic is the world's second largest ocean. You can really actually tell that in the photo, how vast the space this is covering. The average depth is about 3,339 metres. And the temperatures really depend on the location, boys and girls. It covers such a vast space, so the temperatures are of course going to vary. The nearer to the equator, the warmer the water tends to be. And in some areas, the water can reach 28 degrees Celsius, whereas in others, which you suspect would be up to the north and the south, can be as low as -2 degrees Celsius. So what lives here? Well, we've got sharks. That's a pretty scary looking photo of a shark, isn't it? Manatees as well live here. Bluefin tuna, it's a tuna there. Spotted eagle ray. And seahorses live here too. And there's the manatees down the bottom, another really interesting animal as well. And again, if you fancy a wee bit of research, you can find out the names of some shark species. I actually know quite a few sharks. That's something I really like to look up, boys and girls. So if you find out any cool shark species, let me know. Okay, so here's some pictures of this ocean. You can see that there's the shark here in the middle and some lovely photos of the ocean here. So moving on now, I think this is our last ocean, the Pacific Ocean, which I have to say is my favourite ocean. It separates Asia and Australia from North and South America. The equator divides the Pacific Ocean, so again, just like the Atlantic Ocean, it's splitting it in two. Here's the equator here. So we've got the North Pacific Ocean and we've got the South Pacific Ocean. I just want to point something out as well, boys and girls, on this map. You can see the Mariana Trench. If anyone wants to do a little bit of research, this is so interesting. It's one of the deepest points on Earth. So if you fancy finding out more about that, that could be quite a cool thing to research. This ocean is the largest of all the oceans, and you can see that in the picture. It's humongous. It provides almost half of the Earth's water area. It's the deepest ocean in the world, and the average depth is about 3,800 metres. The temperatures of the Pacific Ocean depends on the location. Again, you'd expect it to be warmer near the equator, and then as you go further north or further south, it's getting cooler. In some areas, the water can reach 30 degrees Celsius, whereas in others, it can be as low as -2 degrees Celsius. So let's have a look at the species that can be found here. We can find dolphins, here they are, fish, snails, I'm guessing that's a picture of a snail, very strange looking, manta rays and hammerhead sharks. Their head looks a bit like a hammer. So again, another extension task if you're wanting to keep yourself busy, find out more. There are over 25,000 islands in the Pacific Ocean. Can you research and name just 5 of them? That is amazing, boys and girls, how many islands there actually is there in that ocean. So here's some pictures of the Pacific Ocean. Again, a beautiful ocean. You can see the rich coral habitats here. Isn't it amazing, boys and girls? Now, boys and girls, I actually went here on holiday a couple of years ago and I couldn't resist putting in some of my photos. I couldn't resist sharing them with you. So I went to somewhere called the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and it's a huge aquarium that's dedicated to conservation and educating people all about the Pacific Ocean. So here I am looking so excited because I'm about to see some amazing animals. So you can see in the first video, I hope this works, is actually a sea otter, and at Monterey Aquarium what they do is they take in orphan sea otters, and they have some sea otters that live there permanently that help train the baby sea otters up so that they're ready to be released back into the wild. So I was so excited. This is one of my favourite animals of all time, and I got to see them at this aquarium, so I've got a wee video to share with you, see if it works. It does. So you can see there's an otter that's coming down, there's one swimming. Such lovely, lovely animals. They like to swim on their backs. And there's another one just coming around. And you'll see it in a wee second, just pop out. And there it is there. Isn't that amazing, boys and girls? And one of the really cool facts that I like about sea otters is that they actually have favourite stones. They like to carry stones around with them so that they can open up shells to find things to eat. You can also see in this next picture that this is actually, it's called a giant Pacific octopus, and they can actually change colour, which I thought was incredibly interesting, and they're very, very clever as well. Some of the other animals I saw there were jellyfish, so hopefully this works as well. Here we go. So you can see the lovely jellyfish and their really, really long tentacles. Okay, and just how amazing they are, so beautiful as well. Really, really graceful animals. And moving on, there was also just down from the aquarium, still on the Pacific coast. So this is a Californian sea lion, and if you just listen to it, they're so loud they sound almost like dogs barking. Hope you can hear that okay, boys and girls. So kind of barking like dogs, I felt. And here is some bioluminescent jellyfish as well that we saw at the aquarium too. They almost look like they're lighting up in rainbow colours. Aren't they amazing, boys and girls? It's almost like they're being powered by a battery, or if they're plugged into electricity, so I thought that was quite incredible. And I think this is my last video to show you. I'll stop boring you soon, boys and girls, but I just had to show you these are elephant seals that I saw on the beach as well, so we can watch a wee clip. And what I think is happening here is that this elephant seal is a large male and it's defending its territory from another seal. So let's have a look. See, there's a large male there. And it's telling this seal, hey, this is my territory. And the other seal quickly leaves because he can see he doesn't want to get into a fight with this big elephant seal. You can see them all just relaxing on the beach there. So these animals like to spend a lot of time in the water, but they come onto the beach to sleep freely and to relax as well. Okay, so enough of my holiday photos, boys and girls. Let's get on to what your task is today. So today you are going to be labelling the world's 5 oceans using the Word document template, okay? And that'll be up on Teams in this assignment. And you can re-download this PowerPoint or go on YouTube and watch it again and go back to the slides that will help you. Then as an extension task, now it's saying to create 5 mind maps. Boys and girls, that to me seems like a lot of work. I think that you could just create 1 mind map, okay, to show for one of the oceans which sea animals live there. Okay, so there's lots of information in this PowerPoint, but you can also do your own research. Now, I popped a bunch of links onto the Wakelet for you to have a look at. I've also put some videos of the live cams from Monterey Bay Aquarium that you can also look at as well to see some of the different animals in the Pacific Ocean. And I think it's given us some templates, yep, that you can use. I'm going to upload these to Teams, boys and girls. I perfectly understand that for a lot of people, it's easier just to write these on a piece of paper or in a jotter, but the option's there for you to use these mind map templates, and it might inspire you for how you design your template, well, your mind map, sorry, in your jotter. So here's just one template. So it's got sea life in the Atlantic Ocean. It's got a lovely picture of the Atlantic Ocean behind it and some colourful text boxes for where you can put your information. If we move on to the next slide, here's another template of the Pacific Ocean, and you can see it's got the title in the middle and 5 boxes for you to put in some key facts. Here's one about the Indian Ocean, and I really like this, shows the contrast in the different habitats and climates. And again, we've got the title in the middle and space for you to enter your facts about the animals. Here's one about the Arctic Ocean, and again it's showing us this a cold place, this ocean, and it's a slightly different style here, but again these are all good templates, boys and girls, if you want to use them. And finally, here's the Southern Ocean, and it's got a penguin, really highlighting the different species of penguins that live here. Now, boys and girls, it's space for 5 different animal facts. If you want to do more, you can. If you want to do less, you can as well. The level of challenge is completely up to you. So, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed that video. I'm sorry for talking so much, but you can probably tell I'm very, very excited about this topic, and I'm so glad that you persuaded us to choose this one. Okay, so bye for now, boys and girls, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Remember, you can ask us any questions in the Ask Your Teacher channel. Bye for now.